and welcome back to what we call the Loredump podcast. I'm their host, Jared. With me is the curator to my nightmares, as I like to call him.
Yay.
Cole.
Hi.
And today, I get to do the annoying with weird Japanese bullshit.
You've been playing this game for weeks and complaining about it without telling me what it is?
Yeah, I decided to surprise him, and the surprise was 3 days ago. So we're doing Final Fantasy VIII, as you can tell by the title and whatever else is involved in this. And I I don't like this game. I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy. It is what I deem to be the worst Final Fantasy game of all time. It's if you hear background noises, there's a puppy. She is chewing on everything, and I am sorry. I have to keep her in here, or else you'll hear crying and barking.
She's adorable. We should post the picture. Post that picture, Jared.
Yeah, there'll be a picture of her, a link somewhere. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Dress her up as Cloud.
All right, Cloud. No, dress her as the Predator dog. Duh. Okay. So we have this fancy little Google Doc I made. But before we get into the characters, I need to talk about the mechanics.
Okay.
And specifically, one mechanic in general. I've talked about it with Cole before. It's the draw mechanic, the famous Final Fantasy VIII draw mechanic.
Draw.
So in the game, you know how you have in JRPGs, you have magic casters, you have fighters, right?
Yeah.
You typically have different types of magic casters, right?
Yeah, like a class that does a thing.
Well, in Final Fantasy VIII, they decided, fuck that.
Okay, no classes.
What we're going to have is every character can use magic. But first they have to equip the magic, right?
Equip it like a weapon?
Well, yeah, kind of, sort of. They junction it to a stat.
Okay.
But they have to draw the magic from an enemy. So enemies will have specific magics that you can draw from them. And you'll draw any number between 0 and 9.
Okay, so they have a type of magic you can draw from that's between 0 and 9 of how...
you have a slot, you can have max of 100. If you use the magic, your number goes down. And if you equip it, it boosts your stats and changes them. So what this does is means that every enemy you come across, you end up seeing what magic they have. If they have one you don't have, you draw until your whole party has 100 of it. So it slows this game down to this nightmarish crawl of a game.
So you draw till you have 100 of that magic, and then as you use it, you drain more of it.
Well, you end up not using magic at all. You end up equipping it to your stats and just attacking physically. Because you equip it to your stat and it boosts your stat, making your strength stat super high. You typically have one magic caster, and then 2 people who deal physical damage more than magic.
Okay.
And then you have summons that you can also equip. And you can equip as many summons to one character as you want. And then the summons are what allow you to equip the magic to the stats.
This is why I don't like JRPGs.
Oh no, this one's just like the most esoteric bullshit. And it's the only one. Like they went to this thing, they were like, this is bad, and they dropped it, they never went back. They realized their mistake. Although in Final Fantasy XII they have the license system, which works better. Which it's just like you have this wide grid with license.
You license it out.
And it has points, and you can choose what path people go on to make your A1 the class you want them to be.
Okay.
So you can send someone down sword, someone down spear, someone down black magic, someone down white magic, and have diversity.
Racist. That's racist.
Anyway, it's just the worst thing. And my biggest problem with it is how much it slows the game down. Another thing I talked about is the level up system. How normally in RPG, levels, they start off low, and they kind of they build up, then how much you need experience to get. No, you always need 1,000. Always need 1,000 to level up.
Wait a minute. So I've played non-JRPGs, real games. Like, Diablo, and typically... when you're low level, it's like 50 XP, then as you go, that's as an example. Mm-hmm. So it's like 50 XP, 100 XP, so that way each level's a little harder, but at the beginning it's fast, and then it gets a little harder and harder to get more levels, and eventually it stops because, there's a max.
Yeah.
Or maybe not, like Fallout 4, there's no max.
Yeah.
You could just be the ultimate man.
Just max out every stat.
Yeah.
Anyway, your point?
Why is it... It seems like bad design for it to be 1,000?
So it scales... how much experience you receive scales based off the enemy you fight its level and the other level relative to you.
Okay.
So, say you're in the first cave, you fight a bomb. When you
Yeah.
first fight him, he'll give you, say, 267 experience points, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you come back when you're level 30 instead of level 8, and now it gives you 60 experience points. So the game scaled it down because you're so much higher level than it.
Okay. So instead
Now,
of scaling the level, they scaled the experience points you gain from the...
yes, but that's exploitable as shit.
This seems like a really complicated way to do the same shit.
Yeah, so here's the problem with it, right? Is because you can go you get a ship and you can go anywhere you fucking want on the map.
Yeah.
Right? So you can find places with have obscenely high level enemies and just grind out levels. Like I said, there's a fight in the isle closest to Hell where you can gain 1,000 experience points just from killing it, no matter what level you're at. It's level 105.
Oh, well, that seems like it'd be hard to do.
You just berserk it.
Oh.
And then you just kill it. And you can just farm levels. It's exploitable, and tons of people do it. How are you being so loud while you're chewing on cardboard, Tater Tot? Alright, I guess we should get into...
The story, reason...
So we're going to start with the characters.
Okay.
Because I don't want to reference characters and you'd be like, who is that?
Is this Cloud?
This is Squall, the other guy named after a form of weather.
What's a squall in real life?
Small storm. A rainstorm.
Okay, what's a cloud?
I will fucking murder you. So I first started off with like how his personality is. He's emo.
Yeah, I could see that. Are all Final Fantasy characters emo?
They kind of stopped that. This is during the emo phase. Cloud, Squall, and Zidane are all super emo.
Reserved and reclusive.
He has a bad temper. Like he always pushes people away, and he's kind of lame because he's whiny. Like he gets really whiny. Reserved and closest. He passes the seed evaluation on his first try, and becomes the leader of his own team with Zell and Selphie, who were two other characters I get on to. He goes to a mission to assist the Force Owls, where he meets Renoa and wants to bang her.
Well, I mean, who wouldn't?
He doesn't actually. She wants to bang him.
Oh.
He pushes away emotions like, they don't matter. No one needs to know what I think. Who cares about my opinion? I'm not kidding. He has these moments where the screen goes black, it's his inner monologue, and he goes, no one needs to know what I think.
I hate it.
He ends up leading all of the seed in a garden to defeat the sorceress, Edea. Now, none of this is going to make sense, so just bear with me. After that, Renoa falls ill, and he takes upon himself to rescue her, and it finally starts admitting to his feelings, despite all the mommy issues he has.
His mommy issues?
Oh, hell yes. He was adopted directly by Garden.
A garden?
By Garden. The facility Garden, the Balam Garden, he was adopted directly by that.
So it's like So, let me guess what garden is. It's like an AI that grows the shit.
It's a place where seeds grow.
Okay, yeah, pretty close.
And seeds are these people. He is a seed.
Wait, what?
Oh, don't worry. I gotta explain that to you during the plot synopsis. And he fights with a gunblade. His is specifically called the Revolver.
I can see it's a revolver. Where's the barrel? I only
the
see
barrel. So if you, it's not really good because I use the game engine thing. But the barrel runs up the backside of it, and there's a hole at the edge of the blade. So if you pull it and you pull the trigger right as you make contact, the gun will fire into their chest. And you pull the trigger, which is the R1 button.
Yeah.
And it legitimately critical hit if you do it at the right time. Every time.
Huh.
Also, because he uses a gunblade, he can't miss. So he just has 255% hit rate.
I mean, it's point blank, so.
But no, he still swings a sword. Like, you can miss the sword swing, but he can't. He has 255 hit rate. And, like, you can raise people's hit rate. His can't be raised.
I mean, I'm assuming he's at max.
Just hit rate. I don't know why. And then you got Quistis, and I'm sorry about her face.
Hold on, scrolling down. What the hell was wrong with her?
PS1 graphics. Now, I will admit, this is probably one of the prettiest PS1 games I've ever seen.
I will admit, this did look like an early PS2 game.
Yeah, and it wasn't. It's 1998.
Okay.
Anyway, Quistis is a teacher. She's extremely young. She's like 2 years older than Squall.
I like her midriff.
And she's kind of a bitch. So, like, she, like, plays along with people and, like, trying to teases them and pokes fun at them, right?
Why is her belt not looped?
It's a Japanese game, man. Have you? Oh my god! I gotta show you the main character from Chaos Legion. Hold on. I will put this up in the video version.
Chaos Legion. Yeah, what? He has a lot of midriff.
Oh, you googled it?
No, I'm just looking at her. Does she have midriff too?
The Chaos Legion's a guy.
A man?
Yes. Oh god, I can't find the right image of him. So he has belts wrapped all around his chest. His shirt is belts. Anyway.
That seems impractical and heavy.
Essentially, so she was adopted by the Treppe family. Treppe family. Don't fucking know, there's no dialogue in the game. Then sent to Garden to train. She thinks she is in love with Squall. I forgot to put love with Squall there. But she later admits it was just her latent emotions forgotten when they were in an orphanage together. Get to that later. What? She is the teacher for Squall, Cypher, and Zell. Acts level-headed compass for the group, which isn't really needed because Squall's not emotional, so they don't need a level-headed secondary character to act as the level-headed one when Squall's not emotional, so he's naturally level-headed. It's kind of stupid. She tries to be like the mom to the group, but they don't really need a mom in the group. She's also not older than the group, so it makes no sense.
Oh, so she's the Katara.
Yeah, and she became a seed and seed instructor at an incredibly young age, and she fights with a whip, and a lot of the community... Why is the whip not in this model?
Why is it? I don't see a whip.
Yeah, the whip... Normally she would have the loops in her one hand and the whip in the other hand, and she would... I don't know why it's removed from this model, actually.
I mean, she's just, like, holding her arms.
She's holding a guitar.
Yeah,
anyway,
she's ready to play, baby.
A lot of the community draws her as like a dominatrix woman because she fights with a whip. Stop eating cardboard! Look at the box.
She's working her way down. She'll be in it soon.
Anyway, on to Zell Dinked.
Who does he? Oh, boy.
As you called him last night, Mike Tyson. So he's upbeat, fun, and really annoying. I said kind of annoying. He reminds me of you, Cole.
Oh, thank you.
He's always like in people's faces, trying to talk, trying to be the center of attention, you know?
Yeah.
He was adopted by the Dinked family and sent... Dinked family? I have no fucking... D-I-N-C-H-T. Someone pronounce that for me, family. And sent to Garden to train. He was a mechanic's assistant before moving to Garden.
Before becoming a boxer.
He was also a legendary person in his town.
Was he a boxer?
No, he once jumped on a streetlight and did 100 pull-ups. Don't know why they specifically mentioned that in the game, but specifically mentioned in the game. So, when you go to his hometown, you meet the new assistant. He's like, oh man, you're a legend around here. I heard about the time you jumped up there and did 100 pull-ups. We're just like, that's not needed character development here. So like, oh, the only character that really develops is Squall, by the way.
He looks amazing. I love his pants.
Zell's plot is just that he wants to be a leader and be viewed as like a mature person and like recognized for his abilities, but everyone just says he's too mature, so he often like pushes out like, hey, let me do that, hey, Squall, let me do that, so he's kind of that guy in the group.
He reminds me of Steve Urkel and Mike Tyson if they were white.
Yeah, he has really low self-confidence and always doubts himself in the big moments. But he has really big bravado.
Yeah.
He fights with his fists, has face tattoos. He became a seed with Squall and Selfie. And
Think I should get a face tattoo?
Hell yeah, Cole. Only if it's the same one Mike Tyson has.
Okay, so this one.
Yeah, he legitimately has a tattoo that resembles Mike Tyson. The biggest thing about him is his adopted family is super nice.
Oh, that's nice.
He cares about them a lot. Yeah, it's really good. Like,
yeah.
Adopted families are terrible.
What did they think when he did 100 pull-ups?
I have no idea. They would whip. His mom would whip him with a spoon though when he would be stupid, but like not in a bad way, like a you idiot way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like I'm gonna fucking rape you with a spoon. Anyway.
What?
Let's not talk about my childhood. So next we got Renoa. Okay.
What is on her arm?
That's her weapon. We'll get to that. That's at the end.
Okay.
So she's a princess. She's temperamental. And she has a really weird concept of love.
What do you mean?
So throughout the first, third of the game, she thinks she's in love with Cypher, right?
Okay.
Then she thinks Cypher dies. She mourns him. And then she's in love with Squall for the rest.
I hate all of these names.
Stop eating the box. I'm leaving all this in.
I hate all of the names, by the way.
I will post a video of her chewing through this box on Twitter. She is the daughter of a singer and a Galbadian Empire general.
Okay.
The Galbadian Empire was at war with the Esters during the last Sorceress War. Her dad was a general in that. Okay?
It was a sorceress?
Her mom was in love with one of the soldiers.
Okay.
Who is Laguna, who we get to later. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. It all comes full circle. She runs away and forms a rebel group known as the Forest Owls to liberate Timber from the Galbadian Empire, for whom her father is the general.
I hate all of this.
She then requests the help of Seed from the Garden, and she gets sent Squall, Zell, and Selfie.
Okay.
You following along here? She then has this plot where the president's supposed to be coming through. Stop it. Supposed to be coming through on his private train car. So you have to do his mission where you unlink his train car, link it to your train, and divert it and kidnap the president.
What? There's a president?
President of Galbadia. Yeah.
Okay.
Then.
And there's trains. Okay.
Then.
So is this not a fantasy universe?
It is.
So there's trains and sorcerers.
Yeah.
Okay. With dresses made out of blue jeans, obviously.
It's actually lace. Like they say, you see it in a sunlight scene. Also, all those are tights, and then she has like a belt around her waist, and then a tight shirt.
What?
It's weird. Anyway, turns out the president was switched with his demon body double.
What?
He has a body double that's a demon who you kill. Now, for anyone who wants to play this game, just throw a phoenix down on him, it auto kills him.
You could just get phoenixes?
Phoenix down, which is a feather from a phoenix.
Yes.
Right? It's the revival item in the Final Fantasy universe, right?
Yeah.
And this guy's undead. So if you throw a revival item on an undead thing, they die.
Because, wait.
You brought them back to life. If you use cure magic on an undead thing, it deals damage to them. That's why the newer Final Fantasy games have a stats effect called zombie, because that way you can't heal yourself.
Okay.
Anyway, and then after that mission fails and Galbadia is out looking for her, she runs over to Squall in the group. She joins them to defeat in their mission to assassinate the sorceress.
Okay.
But after they defeat the sorceress at a later date, she falls into a coma in which to be fixed they have to go to space.
What?
She then is fixed, is the sole reason why Squall is found at the end of the game. She is not a seed, by the way, so... And she fights with a weird boomerang thing she shoots off that thing on her arm.
It's a boomerang?
So it's missing its ammo, right? So it has like this circle disc thing that she'll fire off, like the smart disc from Predator, only lame.
I don't like it. Like, the smart disc was cool, but this...
Oh no, this is fucking stupid. Like that's like fights with weird wrist shooting boomerang thing. Like I can't even describe it correctly because I don't know what it is, Cole.
So does it come back perfectly into the
yes,
device?
he catches it like this. Like Bucky Barnes when he's Captain America and he has the magnetic thing to call back the shield, right? Just like that, only she can catch it.
Oh.
She also has a pet dog named Angelo. He's a good boy. You teach him tricks.
What kind of dog?
I had no idea. Shiba Inu, probably.
Ooh.
It's Japanese, so probably a Shiba Inu. But like, so you have limit breaks, which is like your ultimate move.
Yeah.
Hers is he comes in and does a random thing. He can tackle, fire a cannon, and heal somebody.
Wait, he can fire a cannon?
Like he shoots energy out of his mouth. Anyway.
I'm 20 times more interested into that dog. I don't care about the rest of these random ass people.
The dog is not in this
I'm disappointed. Also, is this a man or a woman? I can't tell.
This is Irvine Kinneas. He is a man. He's a pussy ass bitch.
Yeah, I literally thought he was a woman.
Yeah, he can't. He's a wannabe womanizer, adopted by the Kinneas family, then sent to Garden. He remembers the orphanage for some reason. Is not a seed, but still uses the something forces. Guardian forces, but only seeds are supposed to use them. But he uses them anyway. He's weird. I have no idea what his plot point is besides remembering the orphanage and then being the one who they're supposed to use to defeat. He's supposed to assassinate the sorceress. They send him on a mission, and he has a sniper rifle, and he's about to shoot her, and he can't do it because he's a pussy-ass bitch.
Why can't he do it?
He can't take a human life. He chickens out at the last moment every time. So, like, instead, like, he fires a shot into the air, and we run down fight her, in which we lose the fight. He doesn't want to take a human life ever if he can avoid it. He wears a cowboy hat and fights with guns. I don't know what his plot point is. Like, I can't tell you what his purpose is in the character dynamics. He's in love with Selfie.
Where's her? What's his gun?
Yeah,
look
the
like?
character, like, some of these models just don't have the weapons in it. Anyway, on the selfie. Yeah, I don't have... Fuck.
Oops, that'll be loud. Gunchucks! Are these gunchucks?
No, they're just nunchucks, Cole.
I'm upset. Why aren't they gunchucks?
Gunchucks wouldn't work.
Yes,
Anyway,
they would.
she's the whimsical, outgoing, airheaded one, you know? She's kind of like, that one.
Yeah.
She's also in Kingdom Hearts. A lot of these characters are also in Kingdom Hearts. She was adopted by the Tillmet family and sent to a different garden, I can't remember the name of it, than the Trebia garden, than Squall, Zell, and Quistis, and even a different garden than Irvine, who was sent to the Galbadia garden. Okay. She was at a different garden, then transfers to Balam garden the day before the test, then passes the fucking test to become Seed. Don't know why she's taking the test if she just got there the day before the test, but that's beside the point.
What? What? Wait,
Yeah.
So there's multiple gardens.
Yes.
There's the test.
Yes.
This all is like blending together in my brain. I can't.
Yeah, don't worry. It took me weeks to like sort through this shit in my head.
I can't. What?
She took the same and passed. Her home garden gets destroyed, so she seeks this like, she goes on this revenge kick, you know, where she wants to blow up a base of the Galbandian Empire for destroying her garden. You're just gonna sit up here with me for the rest of this. Cole's gonna be distracted by the puppy.
It's so cute. It's so much more entertaining than this.
It's not though, because this is so fucking stupid. Okay, and then she fights with a dual chain. It's called a dual chain staff, right?
Okay.
But she uses big nunchucks.
Yeah, they're like big nunchucks. What's... I don't...
It should be a tri-staff, which is exactly what nunchucks are kind of based off of. A tri-staff is a 3-part giant staff.
Yeah.
And you can swing it around like nunchucks.
Okay.
But, like, it's really big and it's a staff. It can solidify and then disconnect.
Yeah, it sounds cool.
Yeah, anyway, I'll give you 1 second. Okay, the puppy's gone.
No, my only form of entertainment is hell.
Yeah, it's not, she started eating the cardboard box, Cole. It's missing chunks. They're in her stomach. She's digesting that.
God, she's coming through the walls.
Now you're gonna hear her crying.
Just take that noise, inverse it,
I
and
can't, because
do...
it's gonna be while we're talking. She's not just gonna sit there and wait for moments of silence, Cole.
She might.
Anyway, her real plot point is like she wants to take charge at some point, but like that's really it. She has nothing to do besides. She was also at the orphanage. They were all at an orphanage.
Oh, they all don't have parents.
There's Cypher in the next one. He also uses a gunblade.
Oh, there's two? Two impractical weapons?
I mean, let's see. The big nunchuck's impractical. The gun's fine. The boomerang thing's stupid.
Aren't nunchucks impractical anyway?
Yeah, the whip is impractical. Like, you wouldn't use a whip as an actual weapon.
I mean, someone could just, like, walk through that. I mean, it hurts a fuck
I mean,
ton,
some people
but...
are into it.
Yeah.
Clive Barker, I'm looking at you.
We'll get into Clive Barker at one point.
I'm doing Hellraiser at some point, I guarantee it.
He had some games, actually.
Yeah, he does. If he's a 6, what's a 10? Alright, so this is Cypher. He's hot-headed, idealistic, and I don't know if they're meant to, like, make him stupid, but he acts really stupid.
Why does he have a cross on the center of his chest?
It's just, like, his design on his shirt.
Okay.
He was adopted by Garden at around the same time as Squall. He becomes the Sorceress's Knight. Mind control to protect Edea, Abel, and Ultimecia. Those are the 3 sorcerers in the game.
Okay.
He kills Odin. Like, Odin's a guardian force, right? A GF that you can have. And he comes into the fight to fight Cypher, and Cypher just cuts him in half.
Oh.
And then you get Gilgamesh instead.
Who's Gilgamesh?
Another just Norse legend. But this one, he wields 4 weapons instead of... So,
how does
Odin...
how does he wield 4 weapons?
He has 4 arms.
This guy?
No, Gilgamesh does.
Gilgamesh?
So Odin rides in on his 8-legged horse and does the Rentetsuken, and he instantly kills whatever you're fighting, right?
Yeah.
No matter what it is. Right? But he can't come in during boss fights. So he comes in during the boss fight with Cypher, and Cypher kills him. And then Gilgamesh picks up his sword, and now Gilgamesh can do the same thing. But you get 1 of 4 attacks. 1 attack that does 1 damage, One attack that instant kills, one attack that does half their health, and one attack that does a random amount of damage.
I want number 2, please.
Yeah, just like, why can't I just get number 2 all the time?
So he has 4 arms, but he can't pick which one he swings?
Yeah, he will use a random weapon every time. I don't know why. One of his is his axe. One of them's like a stick. Which that's the one that does 1 damage, by the way. That's the least. That's the worst one.
Is he an idiot?
You know, they don't have personalities. Anyway, so his main point is he's the secondary antagonist in which the characters have history with. You know that trope in like movies and stuff. You know where like a good guy turns bad, or like someone.
Yeah.
Or like someone will
like Spider-Man 3, excellent example. You know, the good guy turned bad for a moment. He went emo.
Well, no, I don't mean like that. I mean like the character who's on the good guy's side joins the bad guys, so they have an antagonist who they have history with when they have when the main antagonist is something more obscure or abstract.
Zook, Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Kylo.
Like Luke has history with Darth Vader, him being the secondary antagonist for Palpatine.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So he's the Darth Vader?
Yeah, he's the guy that Squall has a rivalry with and wants to defeat, and he's working with his ultimate evil that you really don't know. He has failed to become a seed multiple times. He also fights with the gunblade. His is designed differently though. The barrel's on the side and it's shorter, and he wields it so weird. He holds it like this. Like you have no strength in this swing, like.
So he holds it like a fencer.
No, not even a fencer, because a fencer would do it straight out like this, and it's all about the touch.
Yeah.
He has like this weird side gangster lean. If you're on the Google Doc that I made, you can see how he holds it sideways, and he swings like this, just like side strike. I hate everything about it. Oh, we're on Idea, the sorceress.
She looks like she's from Disney.
This is actually, I couldn't get her character model from the original game. This is from the HD remaster.
Oh, wonderful.
Anyway, so this is Idea the Sorceress. There's an ancient evil that can go from sorceress to sorceress, right? And has led many wars. The last sorceress war was during like 20 years prior to this game. And then there's this one, and then there's a future sorceress named Ultimecia, who we'll get into at some point. She's not in this list, though.
Wait, there's just an evil?
What?
There's just an evil?
Yeah, it's just a sorceress, magic evil thing that goes into people and then turns them into the sorceress. Only specific people have the ability to become the sorceress.
Like Palpatine in Episode 9, how his spirit is going into people and making them evil.
Anyway, so she has come in many forms, currently in the form of Idea, the matron of the orphanage and wife of Sid. She ran the orphanage.
Oh, she looks like a nice lady.
At one point in the past, right before she became the sorceress, she was told about seeds and gardens and by a mysterious being, and kept that in her head as she became the sorceress, so she sent her husband to create the garden to create seeds to defeat her when she's evil.
Okay.
I told you there's stupid time travel, right? Because there's stupid time travel.
Yeah.
So in the past, someone told her about this. When she turned evil, she sent her husband to defeat her in the future. But this is Idea specifically. There's 2 more, Adele and Ultimecia. Ultimecia is the last enemy of the game. Anyway.
Oh, this is really short. Oh, thank God.
This is Sid, husband of Idea.
Oh, he's got
headmaster of the Balam Garden.
Robin Williams.
Yeah, he does look a lot like Robin Williams. It looks like Robin Williams if he shaved himself in Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
But Sid is a recurring character in all the Final Fantasy games. Everyone has a character named Sid, and most of them have a character named Wade, Jim Biggs.
Yeah.
Okay, just that's just a fun fact. He's the headmaster of the Balam Garden. He created Garden and Seeds to defeat Idea. Or Idea. I don't fucking know how to pronounce names. But he abandons his post when he has to take on his own wife because of reasons. He never gives a reason why. He just steps down. He's like, Squall, you're in charge now. I'm not doing this. You fight my wife, not me. And then as soon as they defeat his wife, he goes back to living with her. But like it doesn't really make any sense. There's never a reason given. He just does it.
I don't.
Yeah, the game has this problem of over explaining like 1 or 2 things and not explaining anything else.
I'm just confused.
Okay. We're on Laguna.
Oh, finally, a gun.
A second gun, yeah. I mean...
Well, those weren't guns. Those were blades, Jared.
Well, no, the Irvine, his gun was just missing.
No, that wasn't a gun. I didn't see no gun. He was air
He fights like with
guitar.
a shotgun or something. Anyway, so this is Laguna. The first thing on here is unconfirmed. Father of Squall. Stepfather of Alone. That is definitely true.
Nice.
He fought the Sorceress during the last Sorceress War. Became a writer after the war. Rescue Alone was the first time the Sorceress took her to experiment with her time travel powers.
She has time travel powers?
Oh, it's dumb time travel powers. I love it.
Is this like X-Men?
No. Like, even dumber. He is kind and caring. He's a natural leader, unlike his fucking son, who's the worst leader ever. His wife, Rain, died in childbirth, giving birth to the child who was thought to be Squall. It's unconfirmed. He was a Galbadian soldier during the last Sorceress War with his two squad mates, Kyros and Ward, who don't really have any significance to plot, or just kind of there to be characters 2 and 3 when you get sent back in time to play as him. He fights with a gun. It's a machine gun.
That's good. It kind of reminds me of Cable.
How?
He time travels with a gun.
He doesn't time travel. So, Squall's consciousness in the present gets sent back into him. But Squall's not in control of him. Squall is just experiencing his life through his eyes while having independent thoughts. Don't worry, I talk about it later. No one can explain. I've read stuff on it. It didn't explain it, so I just wrote what I wanted to write.
Kind of reminds me of Days of Future Past a little bit, because Wolverine, his consciousness was sent back to his old body.
Yes.
But that made sense. While this, I'm confused.
Here's the most important character in the whole game. Alone.
She looks like the most normal one.
Stepsister to Squall. Has the ability to send people's consciousness back in time to try and alter the future.
Rogue.
Is being hunted by the sorceress of the future so she can send her consciousness back to the past to rule the present. So Ultimisia wants to kidnap her so that she can send Ultimisia's consciousness from the future all the way back to Adele in the past so that by the time Adea's rule, the sorceress is already in control.
Oh. No.
That's like one of the main plot points of the game.
What if... Oh, wait a minute. So what if she sent her consciousness back to when she was a kid, they killed her, and then she was unable to send the consciousness back?
Wait, what are you talking about?
So, like, okay. So what if they shot her in the past?
Well, the thing is, you're the hero, so
Yeah.
you want to keep her alive. She's not evil.
I know, but...
She's good.
But her powers cause so much
Yeah,
trouble.
but you're the good guys. You can't just murder someone.
Is it that bad if there's so much problems with time travel?
Like, let's get into this. She sends Squall and 2 of his crewmates, whatever 2 you choose, back into the past and sends their consciousness into the bodies of Laguna, Kyros, and Ward. Because she wants them to alter the past to prevent the current situation from happening. But she finds out you can't alter the past to change the future.
What? What's the point of the time travel?
Ultimisia could, because she's sending back the sorceress into the past.
Oh, no. So only specific people can change the past, while other people who time travel are unable.
Oh, don't worry. These just fall apart at some point. Because, like, look, she finds out what she's trying to do is impossible despite actually happening, causing the weird time loop in the game's plot. Because there's a time loop in the game's plot I will have to get into. She takes shelter in Esther, the country that once held her hostage. Why? She is the character that you spend most of the game chasing after at some points. She's the damsel in distress character. She's not a party character. She's just a girl who Squall used to know as sister.
Okay.
She's what makes the game extra stupid. Okay.
Ah, boy.
Ready for the plot synopsis?
No.
Okay, so here's the part where I have to admit I didn't beat the game. I didn't. Not for this. I'm going to beat it probably in the next day or 2.
Why?
Why didn't I beat it?
No, why would you beat it now?
Because I want to, after reading the plot synopsis, I want to say, and I did beat it when I was like, I don't know, 7, 10,
Okay.
somewhere in that range, you know. But like, anyway, so Squall, a garden student, and Okay, so Squall's a Guardian student who, the day after you become, like, start playing the game, he takes the test to become a seed. He becomes a seed. There's a ceremony. Only 4 people out of, like, the 80 that were tests became seeds. It's him, Zell, Selfie, and Nameless Dude. Nameless Dude's my favorite. He becomes the pilot.
Oh, God.
He's oddly important. And then, after becoming a seed, at the ceremony, he meets this girl in a white dress who dances with him and calls him hot. That's Renoa. And then from there, he's tasked with joining her group to defeat the Galbadian Emperor and then eventually assassinate the sorceress.
Okay.
All right. After they fail in the mission because marksman Irvine can't bring himself to take a human life, he attacks the witch and the sorceress, defeating him. From that point forward, it's where shit starts to get weird.
What's this after? I guess this is 8, so it is after 7. The most famous one.
Well, 7's also incredibly weird. Like, 7's plot makes no sense.
Well, I mean, that world affected this world, so...
I mean, 6 is, like, the one that makes the most sense.
Is it?
And then took nothing. 6 is my favorite. I think 6 is the best Final Fantasy game. 6 isn't my favorite. I think it's the best. My favorite's 10.
Ah.
But 6, I think, is the best. Anyway, Squall's party then regains consciousness, awakens their hidden flying base, frees captured cities, fights major battles against Adia, and after defeating her, Renoa falls mysteriously ill.
Are they the only people with a flying building?
No. You meet another one that does the exact same thing, and it's Adia's seeds, and that doesn't make any sense, and it's a different garden, and everyone wears white instead of blue.
Are they all color-based? Like, so is there a red one?
No. There's only the white and blue ones. Anyway,
I thought they were
so Squall tries to take her to Esther to meet alone so he can go back in time to the moment she fell into a coma and change the past. That's his goal there. But instead ends up going to space.
What? Why are we going to space?
We'll get into that. Adia went as well to have her sorcerer's powers sealed, and she leads them to Dr. Odine, who's the one who sends them to space.
Okay.
You okay there, Cole?
I'm fine. I'm just...
This is compounding interest on what he did to me, isn't it? Okay.
Oh.
While Renoa's... Okay, so here's the part where I just copied the Wikipedia.
Okay.
That's why it's so much longer, so I'm gonna have stuff to say, but not as much, because I have beaten the game, just not recently. While Renoa is being treated on the Esther space station, Ultimecia uses her. So Ultimecia takes control of Renoa on the space station to free Adele, the former sorceress, from prison. She then orders Cypher to activate this thing called the Lunatic Pandora facility, inciting a lunar cry that sends Adele's containment device into the planet. That's what it's called in the fucking synopsis, which means that's what they call it in the fucking game.
Okay.
So, and then she's gonna go back into Adele. And Ultimecia, abandons Renoa in outer space while Squall rescues her. Right? They return to the planet in a derelict starship and have a romantic moment. It's the first time Squall ever emotes in the whole game. And it takes till the end of Disc 3. Elona's captured by Galbadia for some reason.
Okay.
Because she's the damsel in distress. After landing, the party encounters Laguna, now president of Esther.
Ah, she's a president.
Laguna, the guy, your dad.
Yeah.
He reveals Dr. Odine's plan to allow Ultimecia to cast time compression on their terms so that Alone can send Seed into Ultimecia's time period.
I hate all of this.
Oh, yeah, it's so stupid. Anyway. Okay. At Lunatic Pandora, Squall's team defeats Cypher after he kills Odin. That's the fight where he kills Odin. Rescues Alone and kills Adele. Ultimecia possesses Renoa now.
Uh-huh.
Because the reason she fell ill is because Ultimecia was trying to possess her.
Okay.
How much of this are you following?
None. I'm lost. I lost you after Odin.
After the cool eight-legged horse guy died.
Yeah, but before that, I had no idea. But then I heard Odin. I was like, ooh.
I know that name. That's recognizable. All right. Don't worry. We're in the back half now.
Okay.
Anyway, so when they defeat Ultimecia,
Send help.
and then she travels back in the past to send her powers to Adia. But Squall, here's here's the dumb part. Squall also gets sent back into the past, and while he's in the past, tells Adia about seeds and gardens. So that's why Adia and Sid build the gardens to raise the seeds, because Squall in the past told them, and it's a loop that shouldn't exist.
So wait, the whole point of garden exists is because someone told them that a garden should exist?
Because so Ultimecia, while dying, goes into the past to send her powers into Adia. Right?
Okay.
Oh, I should let you know that the whole present time thing that's happening and all the power sending has already been stopped.
By what?
By Squall's party. But because there's time travel involved, they think it's still going on. So they've already defeated it in the future, past and present. However, they haven't actually done it yet. So they have to do it. And Adia was only the sorceress because Ultimecia was defeated. And Ultimecia was only defeated because Adele was already defeated by Squall, who was already defeated, but was also already defeated and captured by Laguna.
What?
Yeah, don't worry. It doesn't make sense. All right, but Squall tells her in the past, between the Adele and Adia periods, Squall, when Ultimecia is sending the sorceress powers into Adia, tells her, his present self tells her, you could create gardens to grow seeds to defeat you in the future in case you ever turn evil. And she does.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's a good
Right?
insurance.
And then, Squall disappears. He's lost in time. And then Renoa goes on hunting for him. And Cypher gets a happy ending. And, they're all having these... They're having these...
his consciousness is lost in time? Because they don't actually
his
send
body. Squall is lost in time. Right? And they're all having this big party, and at the end it's revealed that Squall's alive, and him and Renoa kiss. And that's how the game fucking ends, Cole.
So what time... When was he sent? Where was he?
He was in the time period between when he was in the time period when he was in the Blam Garden, before Adia became the sorceress. So he's in that time period.
Boy, that's fucking lucky to be sent there instead.
Well, that's where Ultimecia went. Ultimecia went to that time period to give Adia the powers to become the sorceress, which you've already defeated Adia. So essentially what I'm trying to say is you've already defeated the sorceress. The sorceress no longer exists because you defeated Adia, who is the most recent person to gain the powers.
Okay.
Right? So despite Ultimecia existing, her powers have already been drained, and she doesn't exist anymore. Do you see what I'm saying?
No.
Okay.
Get the paper out. I need a line.
It's a circle.
I hate it.
Oh, okay. Here, I'll break it down as simple as I can.
Okay.
So there's a sorceress.
Yes.
Named Adele. She exists in the past, right?
Yeah, she's in the past.
She is defeated and captured, right? And drained of her sorceress powers, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a sorceress named Adia.
Okay.
You defeat her, right?
Okay.
And then she drains her own sorceress powers.
She drains her own.
Yeah, she goes and has them captured, right?
Yeah.
Then a sorceress of the future named Ultimecia frees Adele and gives Adele her sorceress powers, right?
Okay.
You then defeat Adele, and Ultimecia then gives her powers to Adia in the past.
Okay.
So when you defeated Adia the first time you defeated her, you defeated Ultimecia's most recent version of powers. So at that point in time, Ultimecia had no powers left. The sorceress lineage had been defeated.
With the first fight?
With the first major boss you defeat, yes. So the rest of the game takes place after the problem is already dealt with.
What? Oh god, I hate.
So the timeline makes no sense. You think your weird 2018 makes no sense. This makes no sense.
Oh god, no.
Okay. Now that we're out of the time travel, let's get to the orphanage.
There's Oh yeah, there
The
is.
orphanage. You're a Hamilton fan, right? So, the orphanage.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Squall, Zell, Quistis, Irvine, Selfie, Cypher, and Alone were all convenient at the same orphanage run by Adia and Sid.
Okay.
However, none of them can remember they met each other. Most of them don't even remember being at an orphanage.
Why?
Well, they said that junctioning GFs causes memory loss that makes them unable to remember. That's never brought back up. It's never talked about
So wait,
again.
there's like a was like a orphanage-wide memory wipe.
Well, no, when they became seeds, they got junked Guardian Forces, and when they jumped in the Guardian Forces, it wiped out their memories. But they didn't remember before that!
I'm confused.
I hate it. Like, okay, so Cypher and Squall were adopted by Garden, directly from the orphanage.
Yeah.
Yet they don't remember being at the orphanage together. They just hate each other for no reason.
Except they wouldn't.
Quistis was adopted a couple years prior to them, and then met them at Guardian and didn't remember them. And they never used junk Guardian Forces to this point. Do I need to go further? Irvine's not a seed. He doesn't use Guardian Force. He gets it at the very end, right? Like at the very when you first meet him, right? But he only remembers bits and pieces of meeting them. They wrote Amnesia so the characters wouldn't know they already knew each other and already knew their enemy. And like it's never brought back up. It's never mentioned again. It's this one throwaway fucking part. And like I'm willing to excuse that if you do a lot with it, but they just did the orphanage shit and then dropped it.
Hey, this is why I don't get into JRPGs.
This is an extremely bad version of it, right?
Is it?
It's like if you play 7's not a good example. But play 6. 6 is about like a real life war and there's like Nazis in it. And it's super good. It has one of the best enemy themes of all time.
Okay.
8 has super good music. The Fisherman Horizons music, one of my favorite Final Fantasy songs of all time.
Now, Chrono Trigger, I've heard of it. That's also time travel, is it?
Oh, that's perfect. That game's amazing. You know what's really awesome, right?
Huh.
So the last boss appears at 10 different points in time.
Yeah.
You can beat him at any 10 points and beat the game there.
Interesting.
Yeah. So in the game plot, you go back to the earliest point in time to defeat him, right? But if you fight him at the very first, the most recent time he appears, the game just ends there. It only happens in New Game Plus, but yeah. It's like they understood that time flows in one direction, and that no matter where you defeat him, he's defeated in the future.
Yeah. By the way, I've come up with a coping mechanism. I'm putting little...
He's putting pop guards on his fucking fingers.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I like the Infinity Gauntlet. One
Alright.
more.
Okay. So, like, they hate each other because Cypher bullied Squall back in the garden, but they don't remember that. Squall has random flashbacks about this, calling this girl sister, and that's Alone, because he called Alone his sister.
Yeah.
But, like, they never explained it. And Alone's in the garden the whole goddamn time. And she remembers everything, and she doesn't tell him. Sid is there the whole goddamn time, and he knows everything. He was the owner of the orphanage and runs the garden. He tells them nothing.
What? I don't know.
So it's like, they also never really use this besides to establish a connection between the party members and Adia, but they also never really do enough with it to justify how many leaps and plot holes how many leaps you have to make and how many plot holes it creates.
I feel like this would make sense if I had 40 hours to decompress it.
Because the fan theories that make it make sense, we'll get into that. There's one fan theory I gotta talk about later, but it's the fan theory that most fans will say is the only way the plot makes sense, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so I should talk about the time travel parts, right? So Alone and sends Squall and 2 party members into the past into the lives of Laguna, Kyrus, and Ward. They are consciously inside the brains of the people, right? They have thoughts and know what the other person is thinking. However, they cannot interact or be independent.
Okay.
I have no idea how this works. Someone please explain to me how this works.
What, the time travel?
Yes, that part. Just like the part of them going back into the brains of other people to experience the past. However, it doesn't really change anything.
I don't get it. Like, you explained it to me at first, and I'm like, oh, Days of Future Past, okay. But it's like, okay, you go to other people, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, Squall goes into who we think is his father. Zell goes to the best friend of that, and then someone else will go to the best friend of that. And that's it. And then they fight in their bodies, and then like they'll come out and be like, oh, how's Kyros doing today? And they talk about like it's nonchalant and normal.
Go.
Okay. And that I just wanted to touch on that because I'm pissed off about it. Now, it was all a dream theory.
What? This whole thing, this is a shitty ass dream.
So the fan theory that is a very commonly held belief on the supporters of Final Fantasy VIII, not the detractors, its supporters are the ones who go with this theory. So the game gets really weird after the first defeat at the hands of Edea, right? Before that, it's kind of like this normal like JRPG with some weirdness, right? But not like the orphanage, the time travel. None of that's really brought up to this point, right?
Yeah.
So people think that when Edea defeats Squall in the very first fight, he died. And this is his dying fever dream of what would have happened if he survived.
Can I just say that it being a dream is the biggest cop out in fucking storytelling?
Yeah. It totally. but the only way the fans believe that Squall actually died in this fight, and the rest of the game is his dying dream, so that's why nothing makes sense. The amnesia, the weird, stupid time travel, the orphanage, the space travel, because they didn't know space travel was possible until they get sent to space.
Wait, they invented space travel in the game?
Like they didn't invent it. Like Esther's the only people in the game that know about space travel.
Okay.
Right? And Esther locks their walls and keeps them has their city cloaked.
Yeah, it's like okay, that
so
makes sense.
No one would know space travel is possible. Yet he's like, yeah, you're going to space, and he's like, cool. And they're okay with it immediately. Him actually having emotion, it's a theory that no creator would ever be like, yeah, that's what we meant.
Yeah.
But it's impossible to disprove this.
Yeah.
You know? And as I said, it's your choice whether or not you believe this as the reason to why the game has free reign to not make sense. I don't. I don't think that. The game is bad.
I mean, that's just a stupid idea.
Yeah. Now here's my piece. I don't believe this. I think the game is bad. The plot is bad. The beats are bad. Like.
Is the gameplay good?
No.
Oh.
It's very average in terms of gameplay. The twists and turns are so far removed from the beaten path. It's that it wants to make the game feel like it's deliberate, trying to throw the player off. You know?
Okay.
Like you have time travel, right? And you go like, yeah, we can send people back to the past. That's fine. No, we can send your consciousness into the brain of someone in the past. Like that's just so fucking stupid. And so like, here's the path. Here's you over there. Why are you over there? You know what I mean? It's like when your GPS and your GPS thinks you're in the middle of the ocean when you're driving next to water or something.
Yeah.
It does it all the time, right? That's what they chose. They chose to be that version of the GPS. When often, and it's true, the easy, obvious choice is right.
Yeah.
Sometimes storytelling is easy. Sometimes storytelling is, oh yeah, that's the correct turn to make. Sometimes storytelling is following the GPS, and there's a reason for that. Stories work. Old stories work. Things worked in the past. They would work now. This game is from 22 years ago.
Yeah, look, stories have cliches for a reason.
Yes, tropes exist because they were good.
They're good and they're like easy to put into a story and understand. I don't understand anything that I just listen to.
None of this is a trope. Like that's my worst. That's like what's I gotta tell you. Like this is the worst JRPG to introduce someone to JRPGs. And you know what's bad? This was my first one.
Oh my god, why do you play them?
I got a PS1 in 1997, I think.
Okay.
And I got this game the following year. I only played like little kid games before that, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, stuff like that, you know.
You know, good games.
Yeah, good games. And I got this, and I just couldn't get into it. I played it, I got to like the second disc and quit. And then my dad got me Final Fantasy VII for PlayStation 1. I beat that shit in a day. Not in a day, but like, you know, like in like
That'd be
a
impressive.
couple weeks.
Yeah.
I was like 6. And then I played this one again. Then I played 9, and 9's underrated. We'll get to 9 at some point. We'll get to 7. We'll get to 6. We'll get to all of them, Cole. We'll torture you with every single JRPG that's trapped inside my brain that has played them all. We're also going to do anime to torture Cole?
No! I can't with this.
I'll do Ruby just for you, Cole.
I know Ruby.
Anyway, in my opinion, it's the worst of the mainline Final Fantasy games. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 15.
What's the one on the SNES that was made for kids?
Fuck. Final Fantasy...
It's not...
It's, Mystic Quest.
Mystic Quest, the best one.
So, like, I don't even hate Mystic Quest, right? Like, I hate the marketing for Mystic Quest because it wasn't marketed to kids. It was marketed to Americans.
And it was the first European Final Fantasy.
Yeah, but they didn't get 1 or 2.
Oh, that's a sad introduction.
Sorry, 1 or 4 like we did. We got 1, 4, 6.
I like the order.
And they gave us them as 1, 2, 3.
I love the order.
Now, it's just, I always love explaining that. Like, people are like, I love Final Fantasy 3. I'm like, do you mean 6 or do you mean 3? They're like, I mean the one that I played as a kid on the SNES. Oh, so you mean 6? No one else is as deep into it as I am, so no one's like, yeah, that's easily like, yeah, that's 6.
Yeah,
I have a problem.
I've never played them. I always hear stories about them. I've seen like timelines and like I know of them. So I'm always like, yeah, that's 6, but they named it 3 because they're idiots.
Yeah. Also, like Cole was asking me yesterday, like, are the Final Fantasy games connected
Yes,
in any way? And the answer is they're not intended to be. That doesn't mean people haven't done it. Although I do think 1 and 2 are direct sequels.
Are they?
Yes, they're the exact same world map, I believe. Just things are in different locations. Where things are like in castles, like where a castle used to be, it's now ruins in the second game.
Okay.
Right, and like so, like they added stuff like that. If I remember correctly, I could be misremembering. It could be a whole different franchise. I don't know. I haven't played 1 or 2.
Are they all like? Are some like medieval worlds, or some are like worlds with traffic stops and rockets, like this one?
Okay, so 1, 2, 3 are all more like the traditional fantasy world, right?
Okay.
4 is where you get into like airships and weird, like kind of pseudo modern stuff.
Is that like steampunk?
No, it's like society is still back in like the fucking like mystic world, but like they have like advanced technology from the future.
Okay.
And then 5 and 6 are very modernized, but also very fantastical. 7's where they start just be like, they have machines that draw energy from the planet.
Isn't there one where isn't 7 where they have a mini game where they're in a ball of water and they do?
That's 10.
That's 10.
That's Blitzball. Some people, okay, so it's never explained, but some people in 10 can breathe underwater.
I mean, that's an actual thing in real life. There is a type of liquid you can.
No. They can breathe underwater. Like, they just dive into water and breathe. There's 3 characters in your party that can do it. Titus, Riku, and Waka.
Are they fish people?
No. Titus and Waka are,
I mean,
Titus and Waka
I mean,
are Blitzball players, and Riku's a foreigner.
I mean, fuck, this is all different planets. Fuck it, why do they all have to be human?
Oh, they're not. There's Ronso. They're tiger people.
Tire people?
The tiger people.
I thought you said tire people. I was imagining a man made out of tires.
He's blue, and he's got his horn cut off. Anyway, but no, 15 is the one where like they have like Top Ramen and Coleman tents. And,
is this in our universe?
And a cat. Yeah, it's the same universe as Tekken, so yes, it's in our universe. Because Tekken just takes place in the world. It has its own continent somewhere in the middle of it that's a wasteland.
Ah, it's like Death Stranding, how they all have monster energy.
Death Stranding will be in like 7 months. Cole, it's gonna take a while to beat it. It's gonna take me even longer to sort through all the bullshit.
You have to like just have me watch cutscenes.
Like, Cole, no, I will read verbatim the script to you, and you can just be like, I have no idea what they said. I'm like, me neither, and I played the game and read everything about it on the internet. Well, anyway, I guess we should wrap it up here.
Yeah, I guess.
Thank you for joining me and torturing Cole with Japanese bullshit.
I don't understand. Tomorrow I will not remember any of this.
I don't blame you, Cole. Although, I will note that the whole fucking, like, time travel thing, like, the whole, like, the orphanage thing, like, how they brought all the amnesia shit, that keeps me up in it sometimes.
Does
So,
it?
like, I'm just like, why would they do that? Why would they bring that into this? It makes no sense. It serves no purpose. Why?
Oh, God.
Yeah, but join us next week for Impossible Creatures.
It's a fantastic adventure.
And then after that, it's either going to be Cole torturing me with Half-Life.
Half-Life's a wonderful game. I'll explain all of it to you. I love that series.
It's probably only going to be one Half-Life game at a time with how deep he's going to dive into that shit.
Oh, boy.
Cole, if you go over 20 slides of Half-Life, that's one episode there, okay?
No, okay? Well, what do you want? Okay, so this is the first chapter. Or Half-Life 1 and the spin-off games, which I could dive into.
Hold on,
and then
we'll talk about this off camera.
No!
Or it'll be me doing Spyro pre-Eternal Nights.
Okay.
Specifically. I don't know how much of pre-Eternal Nights, but I'm not getting up to that one yet.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about the prophecy of the purple dragon. It sounds like a dildo. Anyway, thank you for joining us. Remember to do whatever you want to do with this video.
Like, share, describe.
Describe what we talked about to your friends. They talked about weird time travel and emo people. It made no sense. We should be available on anywhere you can get your podcast. I should say that at the beginning, not at the end, but who cares at this point?
Yeah, Pornhub.
Pornhub, Mixer, Stitcher, Quibi, Shudder.
Yeah, after you're done watching your murder...
Adult Swim.
After you're done watching Murder House Hunt on Quibi, pop on for us for a quick hour-long session.
Talking about whatever game you forgot existed.
Yeah.
Or didn't know existed. Or a movie franchise that you love that we hate.
Or love because it's dumb.
We're
done. We're done here.
Ooh, I'm burnt out from this. Have a good day. Bye.
Goodbye.